Over the past week, I set out to discover what different people had to say about the use of technologies in schools. So what technologies do we need? I found out that really does depend who you ask. Several researchers, such as Ecclestine in 2009 or Collins and Haverson in 2009, discussed several tools that they think could enhance engagement in the 21st century classroom. They mentioned tools like wikis, asynchronous conversations via blogs, research opportunities, various computer tutors, and networked digital medias. Mark Prensky's 2011 article, "The Reformers Are Leaving Our Schools in the 21st Century," suggests that teachers need to allow students to do several things. They should be using tools such as YouTube, TeacherTube, or Skype, basically to connect and guide their own learning. Through my research, it seemed to me that educational researchers believe that students need to be connected, engaged, and mostly self-guided in the 21st century classroom. They believe that technology integration is a way that we can achieve these things. But what about the media? First, let's define what media we're talking about. I decided to focus on mass media because this is what reaches the vast majority of people. Mass media includes television, newspapers, or any sort of online system that a lot of people will see. So what will you find when you research technology integration in classrooms? Various media outlets had lots of different thoughts, but the New York Times had an interesting article about how classrooms of the future, or 21st century learning spaces, were actually not producing an increase in test scores. They had other articles, such as the Wall Street Journal, where they were highlighting the digital divide, or the disparity between the social classes and their access to technological devices. We've all heard about cyberbullying, and several articles highlighted this topic. Here's one from CNN that was discussing what happens when bullying goes high-tech. Fox News ran this story on the negative effects of technology on the brains of children.
TV, videos, DVDs, etc. for a few hours a day, they conclude that these lead to conduct problems, emotional symptoms, and relationship problems by the time your kid is 7.
While the mass media is portraying technology as something that's negative for our children, popular culture is portraying it as something that's only for the young, like this clip from the popular TV show Modern Family.
Hey, how come you guys haven't accepted my cyber classes? I didn't know you were on Facebook. Yeah, you said it was only for teenagers and people looking at affairs.
Even television shows that are geared towards younger children, like this picture from Disney Channel's show Girl Meets World, show students that are disconnected from one another because of their use of technology. Although there are several places that you can find positive information about technology, mass media in particular seems to be perpetrating the vision of technology as a way for students to disconnect and have negative effects on their future. To find out what policymakers say about technology in schools, I went right to the United States Department of Education. Interestingly, the place where I could find any information about technology in school was related to the recent development of the STEM program and how they wanted to use data systems to improve schools. While not in and of itself a bad thing, it seems that policymakers' focus is on career readiness and data-driven instruction, rather than how the wide availability of technology can change the way that we teach and learn. In order to find out what parents think about technology in school, I decided to go right to the source. I took a survey of several parents that I have had in my classroom in the past and in the present, and here are some of their responses. Interestingly, there seemed to be a theme. Overall, it seems that parents, who at this point are still digital immigrants themselves, are grappling with their digital native students. They are dealing with children who know more than they do about technology, and they are fearful that these students are learning differently than they did themselves. In order to figure out what teachers think about technology in the classroom, I simply went to my colleagues and asked. Here are some of the tools that were mentioned as excellent sources of 21st century learning to use in the classroom. After analyzing the tools they discussed, I figured out that there was a theme. Teachers with a 21st century vision are highlighting tools that help students be creative, connected, self-sufficient learners who can collaborate with one another. They also appreciate an ease of availability in their classroom. Finally, I asked my students, what technologies do you think we should use in school? This first group responded with devices that they wish we could use in the classroom. This speaks to my students' desire to be up on the latest technologies and connected and keeping up with the rest of the world. This second group responded with games that speak to their interests. Simulation games are useful in hooking students with various interests into technology that can help them learn. These final students responded with iMovie and Weebly, both tools that would allow my students to create. So what does all of this mean? Who's right? In the end, I've discovered that there are lots of different ways to view technology in schools and in our current culture. What I find is that if we keep what's best for kids in the forefront, and we understand that there are positive and negatives to everything, technology can only benefit our students as they move into the future.